Okay, we should be live. I just moved my head in a way that made me real dizzy.
Yep. Honestly, I would just stick a neck brace on at this point and be like, yeah, this'll do.
That made me real dizzy.
I'll
turn on your radio.
Neck brace.
That was me.
Okay, good. Yeah, pre-show's already up. We're live on Twitch. Hello, Twitch.
I remember to put pre-show up on screen before we went live this time. I'll get
Makes
it.
a change.
I'll get it. A couple more years of this and I'll get it.
Yeah. Give it maybe 10 more.
Yeah, by like year 15, it'll be a well-oiled machine.
Yup. That reminds me, I need to do my promo share because I always forget to do so.
Ah, good call.
Twitch retweet. Twitch retweet? No, you can't retweet on Twitch, you idiot. Although, at this point you probably can.
Yeah, Laura only knows.
Yeah. Social media is outside of my purview. I do Twitter, and that is it. Like, I don't...
That's the only place you really need to be.
I don't understand anything else. I'm not down. I don't... Okay, so I'm inspired by Eric and Mo, and I started doing the take a selfie every day, you know, kind of thing. Lasted probably about 30 days before I realized it's just a selfie of me sitting at this fucking computer every single day, or sitting downstairs on the couch with the cat. It's like, my life is not interesting. I don't leave the house, especially not when there's ice outside. Like now, it's like
it'd be more interesting during the summer, where like you can do weekend events or something.
Well, my busy period, you think I'm going to be doing anything over the summer?
Operative word is could.
Yeah, we could do the festival.
The world could be your oyster.
It could be. It won't be, but it could be, yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, to be honest, I ended up giving up on that. And tonight I've got the fun part of it's garbage day tomorrow. So we have probably about 2.5 foot buildup of snow from the past week, where last week we just got smashed by the blizzard. That snow is now all ice.
Great.
We need to take our garbage out tonight.
Perfect. Just push it and let the ice take it where it will.
My next door neighbor does not clear out their driveway at all.
Go figure.
Because they have an SUV, so they'd rather just drive over the ice mounds. And I'm not allowed to put our garbage cans in their driveway anyway for when they want to leave the house.
Okay.
So I have to go out tonight and dig a... That was weird.
Oh, I just had to... I'm firing up Evernote. I had to...
Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, why is there an ad over me?
It's one of the dumbest web pages because normally I have my half of this window... or like the window for the browser is half of the screen. When you have it like that, the login button doesn't show up. No matter what you do. If you put it full screen, the login button shows up. It's like, guys, come on. We figured out web pages.
I've dealt with a couple of sites like that recently where it's just like, you know what, I'm browsing this on a phone, you should know to resize this stuff.
Yeah.
Now, some ones I get it, like True Achievements, like if you access their site on a phone, it shows you the desktop version, but you can zoom in and zoom out. They have a mobile version, but the mobile version is for premium users only.
Right.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I'm fine using the desktop version because you can still manipulate it like you would any other thing. But when it's like a website that's very clearly got stuff below the bottom of the screen and you can't scroll, it's just like, come on, motherfuckers. But yeah, tonight I have to go and dig out a section of this ice, basically, so I can try and pick up our garbage and stick it in these two little slots next to the road, which is just to try and make the garbage guy's life a bit easier.
Right.
And I'm not supposed to do anything that gets my blood pumping, so that should be fun.
Just stand out there with a hairdryer and just hang out for a while.
Yeah, which for everybody listening to the outtakes, I had 2 wisdom teeth out this Wednesday, so I'm probably talking a little bit quieter than normal, hence no song for the patrons. Sorry, patrons, I know you love to hear my voice. And it got better because it wasn't 2 on the same side. It was the 2 top ones, so 1 on each side of my mouth. You may be entertained by my tweeting of it took me an hour and a half to eat a fucking bowl of porridge. which is hilariously dumb.
Yeah.
But I wanted to speak to you about guilty pleasures.
Sure.
So part of me setting up Plex, listen to Outtakes, folks, was I realized that I have the OC.
Ah, yes.
And I fucking love the OC.
Yeah, I was more of a Hills guy than the OC.
One True Hill?
No, the Hills.
Oh, the Hills.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but I feel like they're both. I feel like they're both similar. I think they came out at a similar time.
I know One Tree Hill literally came out. I don't know about your one, but One Tree Hill literally came out the same year that the OC did.
Nice.
And
was the OC a reality show or was that scripted?
no, the OC was the reality show. The real OC was the reality show based on the scripted show.
Ah, okay.
So it was like, surely the people who live in Orange County aren't that bad. Yes,
Whoops.
they are. Here's a
Whoops,
reality
they're
show
worse.
based on them. Yes, exactly. And it's a glorified soap opera. That's all it is. Like,
Yeah.
it's 100% a soap opera with everything that entails.
Mm-hmm.
But I still love it. I
Yeah.
can't help but love it.
I feel like there's one show like that for everybody.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I've got like 6, dude. Like, the OC is probably just the iceberg itself.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna lie, the main lad in it, I can't remember his name, who plays Ryan, is a fantastic actor. Like, he is a really good actor, and he plays Commissioner Gordon in Gotham now. So,
Oh wow.
you know, he's done okay for himself, and I think he was a really good actor from a young age. Not a big fan of Misha Barton, so yeah.
I don't know if I've seen her in anything that I've liked her in.
It seemed, I actually was curious because I was watching an episode today. I was like, has she done anything since the OC? Because from what I understood, she got the I'm better than this thing. She got the George Clooney. She's
Sure.
like, I'm better than this kind of show. I can go on and do bigger, better things. George Clooney can. She didn't. So from what I've seen, she seems to have starred in a whole bunch of B movies and played someone called Samantha a lot.
Yeah, a lot of movies were just sort of like, I've not heard of this movie at all. Like Zombie Killers: Elephant's Graveyard.
Does she play Samantha in that one?
Let's look. She plays Tony.
You should have a look at, like, just go to her page and look at her known for, and just scrolling it a little bit. It's like
Yeah.
Samantha, Samantha, Samantha.
A lot of
And then-
Sams and Samantha.
Mhm.
The girl.
Which is interesting considering she's the chick from The Sixth Sense who threw up a lot.
Oh, interesting.
Child actress.
I was just looking up the British reality show that my wife and I liked for like 4 seasons before we sort of ran out of patience with it. And that was Made in Chelsea.
Oh, fuck.
I was happy to take the disaster ride for a while, and at some point we were like, all right, this is too much.
If you want another good one to make you hate humanity, just like the American version did, check out The Geordie Shore.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yep. Which is basically the Jersey Shore, except it's about people in Newcastle.
Yeah.
So you know how in the Jersey Shore they go out and they're wearing like tiny shorts and tiny tops and stuff and tight fit and shit, and it's like 70 degrees out because they're like, you know, in the middle of summer.
Yeah.
Imagine that, but rainy, wet, and freezing all the time.
Great.
Yeah.
Man.
Newcastle was the only place they could have done that show justice
Yeah.
in all aspects of that, everything you would expect.
That's so good.
Newcastle did not disappoint.
Yeah.
It's so bad.
Man.
Oh yeah, fuck Made in Chelsea, dude. That's
It's
yeah.
a show. It's one of those things where it's like, it's astounding how they found a collection of humanity's dumbest people. Just like blisteringly stupid.
Well, yeah. It's I can't remember. Jamie Redknapp was not in that, was she?
That
Not
does not ring a
Jamie.
bell.
Not Jamie. Louise Redknapp, I should say. Jamie is her husband.
There
She was in a
Louise.
reality show.
Yeah.
Yeah, Louise Redknapp is Jamie Redknapp's wife, and she was a singer before, very much like Billie Piper. She was a singer who moved on to bigger and better things. I still love the fact that Billie Piper had a #1 hit.
God, Billie Piper is.
If you ever want
something
to,
else.
if you ever want to really 90s yourself, go watch the video for "Why You Gotta Play That Song So Loud" by Billie Piper.
Oh no, I would rather not watch anything with Billie Piper in it again, so I think I'll pass on that.
Oof.
I don't like Billie Piper at all. I don't. I think she's one of the worst Doctor companions paired with the best Doctor.
Okay.
Yeah, I know I don't. It is not a popular opinion, but I'm not.
If we're talking companions that I am aware of, she is second from bottom for me.
Who's bottom?
Amy Pond.
Okay, that's interesting.
Don't like Amy Pond at all.
I feel like I didn't watch enough of the Matt Smith stuff to see if she ever started doing something.
She's interesting, but I mean, Karen Gillan is an amazing actress, and she does a good job. But the places they went with her story is so dumb. And then her write-off was the biggest disappointment ever.
Oh man,
it's
a bummer too, because like Martha was really great, and then
so Martha's #2.
Yeah, I would say that. Yeah,
Martha is an amazing companion. I hate she's spoiler for Mackie, by the way. Mackie, stop listening now. Move on to the actual show proper. Thank you very much.
For a couple minutes.
Martha's #2 for me because she's a strong, powerful, intelligent, really good female character.
Yep.
Her biggest downfall, she's in love with the Doctor. Take that out.
Yeah.
She is the best companion.
Yeah, I feel like that's her. The writing didn't do her justice 100% of the time.
Nope. If they would have taken out that whole bullshit storyline, Martha would be #1 for me. As such, even though she's an idiot, Donna is #1 for me.
Yeah, I was just looking up to see if I could remember her name, but yeah, Donna is for sure my absolute favorite one.
I adore Donna. I think she is the best companion because even in the very first episode where she comes back, like they do the "I just want to mate" joke, and it's the best joke where like David Tennant's like, "I just want to mate," and she's like, "Mate with who? You ain't mating with me." It's like, no, mate like friend. Thank you for the wonderful comic misunderstanding, but
she's so good.
Yeah, she's everything the Doctor isn't.
Yep.
And that's what makes them a good companion kind of thing.
Yeah.
Oh, Donna's the best. So yeah, for me it's Donna, Martha, Billie Piper / Rose, then Amy Pond after that. I haven't gotten enough into the dark-haired girl, so I don't know about her, and I haven't seen anything of the new Doctor.
Yeah,
I can't remember her name.
I really want to watch the new Doctor. I don't remember her name. I stopped like halfway through the Matt Smith stuff, so I didn't watch the guy after her. I haven't started watching the new lady, as much as it seems like that stuff is fairly solid.
Capaldi's companion is pretty good. She's the dark-haired lady, but I don't know. I stopped halfway through Capaldi.
Yeah,
and I was like, okay. It's like it's good, but the writing is starting to let it down right now, which started in the Matt Smith era and just kept on getting worse.
I was happy to see Moffat leave.
Yes.
I really wish they would bring back that other guy. What was his name? He did all my favorite other shows.
You talking about the guy who did Elementary?
No.
Or Sherlock or whatever it was?
Russell T Davies.
I think Russell was good, but honestly, I think they need to write, if you're going to write Doctor Who and be a primary showrunner for that show, do it for 2 years and then call it. Because it feels like you do more than 2 years and they just start with the same BS. Like, the first 2 seasons of Doctor Who, like when it came back, are amazing. Then it starts going downhill from there. Then Russell T leaves and Moffat takes over, and that's when Matt Smith comes in. First 2 seasons are pretty good, and then it just starts going downhill from there. It's like, you know, move on to something else already. We get it. You know,
Yeah.
just
Treat it like a British TV show. Like, just be on your way.
20 episodes and done.
Yeah.
Like, that should
I
be...
like Russell T Davies because I feel like he wrote really fun Doctor Who episodes. Like, they weren't... Moffat's tended to be, like, super serious or wanted to push a message too much, a little too often. I feel like Russell T Davies wrote a lot of ones that are just like, you know what, that was a good ride. Like, we had fun. There's a little bit of a message about, like, hey, remember, you know, this seems a lot like what humanity's doing. Wink. But there was no, like, grand, big message. And I thought that... I liked his stuff.
Yeah. I mean, again, we talked about it last week, but it's the whole Scrubs thing as well. Is like,
Yeah.
when Doctor Who gets serious, it can be some of the most affecting TV on the planet.
Right.
The Picasso episode.
Yeah.
I cannot watch that without crying. It's
That's a
that
great
simple.
episode.
I mean, it's especially someone who suffers from mental health issues. It's like, that's the type of stuff that I adore to see, because it's a fun, stupid episode, but then it has that kick to the, you know, kick to the heart at the end of it, which is just like, yeah, it's too good.
Yeah. There's also a locked room episode that happened with Mixer showing its stripes here again in chat. Let me just go. I'm just gonna time you out a little bit. Time you out for... You're just gonna hang out for like half an hour. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. Let's, open this real quick. Oh, and someone... You're just gonna time out someone else. Hold on. So, closed room mysteries are some of my favorites, where it's everyone is locked in a room, something happened, and...
The bottle episodes.
Yeah, bottle episodes is another name for it. No, that's a Matt Smith one. I'll have to see if I can find out which one this is.
Talk to me about it. I'll probably be able to tell you.
It's where, oh, my favorite doctor, what's his name?
David Tennant.
Yes, thank you. He's trapped in, like, an escape pod spaceship thing, and someone has died in the escape pod, and there's only, like, 6 of them.
You talking about the one where they go to the pleasure planet or to the spa planet? It's a Donna episode, and Donna's not in it. He is in the exploration container.
Yep.
Midnight, I believe, is the name of that planet. I wish I could remember the name of the episode. It's season 4. It's about episode 5 or 6. Because the episode right after that is just Turn Left, or 10 Left, which is the Donna-centric episode, because they filmed the two at the same time.
The title of the episode is Midnight, as the 10th episode of the fourth season. Primarily set on board a small touring vehicle. Cool.
And the episode after is Turn Left.
Yeah, that's a... You're right, that is Turn Left. Episode before that is Forest of the Dead, which sounds like an episode I remembered enjoying.
Forest of the Dead is the second part of the library episodes. That is a 4-episode banger right there.
God, that was a good episode. Man,
you got
I want to watch that stuff again.
Silence in the Library, Forest of the Dead, Midnight, 10 Left. All 4 episodes are, in my opinion, some of the best 4 Doctor Who episodes.
God, Midnight is so good. I really love locked room mysteries. Yeah, man.
Honestly,
Stolen Earth.
I feel bad for the Bamfcast crew, because they're currently doing the Doctor Who U run. They've finished with Martha now. They are currently in Torchwood Season 2, and they've just got to what I like to point out, what I like to call is the bullshit part of Season 2 of Torchwood, which is when it's just fucking horrible for the rest of the season.
It just nosedives.
There is maybe one more good episode left for them in Season 2.
Yikes.
But if they can finish Torchwood Season 2 and do Torchwood Season 3, that's fine. Because Season 3 is fucking incredible.
Yeah, it's the Parks and Rec Season 1 thing that we always reference, where it's like, just get through it, because the stuff that comes after that is really good.
I don't know, I wouldn't say it's worth watching Season 1 and 2 just for Season 3, But they went in
Yeah.
this. They're doing the dive already, so that's fine.
Yeah,
Get
you're
to
already
season
into
3.
it. Like, just keep
Like,
going.
I haven't seen season 4 of Torchwood, so I don't know.
I heard it's
but I
really
know,
bad.
yeah, because it's half America, half Wales. It's like co-produced by
yikes.
Stars and bullshit like that.
No thanks.
But they're getting really close to season 4 of Doctor Who.
Oh,
Like,
man.
they're like 5 episodes away from season 4 of Doctor Who, and they produce on a fortnightly basis. And it's like, motherfuckers, just watch the rest of Torchwood in one sitting and get to season 4, please. Thank you.
Just get through it.
Now, go.
I want to see what other episodes are in season 4. Voyage of the Damned is what we started off with.
I love that's Kylie Minogue's episode. They already did that one. That's a fucking good episode as well.
Fires of Pompeii, Planet Odd, Poison Sky.
Excuse me. I think you'll find that's pronounced Ood.
Oh, sorry, Ood. Yes, that's right. I read too quickly.
That's an amazing thing. Spoiler warning for episode titles, Mackie. I know you'll forget by the time you get to this point anyway, but
Unicorn and the Wasp is one of my personal favorites, even though it's not a good episode.
it's not a good episode, but it's a great episode at the same time.
Wallbanger? So good. Yeah, and then you hit Silence of the Library, Force Dead, Midnight, Turn Left.
4 incredible episodes back to back to back.
Stolen Earth and Journey's End.
Stolen Earth is good. Journey's End is... that's a bit of a heartbreaker, but then at the end of season 4, then you've got the 4 specials that follow on right after as well. Waters of Mars. Oh, I can't remember what the second special's called.
I don't remember. I remember them all being really good.
Yeah, but the last 2 specials are the 2-parter that took place Christmas Day, New Year's Day, and that's You Know Who's Farewells.
Yeah. I'm surprised that Silence in the Library and Force of the Dead are by Moffat, and then Midnight and Turn Left are by Russell T Davies. Man.
They both could do it when they wanted to, and like one of the things I love about Silence in the Library of Forest of the Dead is how much universe building it does, specifically with regards to the other character that shows up in that and how that affects things into the future.
One of my favorite and least favorite characters to show up in Doctor Who.
Because at the start they're so amazing, and then the more you learn about them, the more you hate them.
It's the thing that is great about Doctor Who is when there's a little bit of mystery, or when you're like on the outside looking in and be like, the universe is really big and it's really confusing and interesting. But when you start figuring that stuff out, it's not as cool anymore.
Yeah, it's one of the reasons why one of my favorite 2-parters for Doctor Who will forever be The Impossible Planet and Satan Pit.
Oh god, those episodes are good.
Because there is enough mystery in there to keep you intrigued. There is enough story in there to, to keep you entertained. But they never come out and say, yes, this is the devil. They never put shit in concrete for you.
Yep.
They don't come out and say, yeah, the Force is done by midichlorians.
God, yeah.
They never commit that cardinal sin of giving an explanation to something that
Don't
doesn't need
explain
it.
One last question before we go live. I can't believe we haven't talked about this yet. Who's your favorite recurring villain for Doctor Who?
Oh, well, I haven't seen the latest incarnation of the Master.
Okay.
Spoiler alert, that takes place in Capaldi's season.
Okay. I feel like any villain returning inherently isn't a spoiler because they all kind of come. It's like the X-Men. Oh, one of them died. Wink. It's like they're gonna come back.
Who's behind this act? Oh, it's Magneto again. Boo-hoo. What a shock.
It's Dr. Wily again.
I hate the Daleks. The Daleks are my least favorite.
They're my favorite. They're hands down my favorite.
I think, like, if you talk about the OG Daleks, like the 60s, 70s, they're terrifying back then because it's the 60s and the 70s.
Even the first couple seasons of the new stuff, they're still pretty scary. Until they jump the shark.
Yeah, the Dalek by himself in the underground bunker. Oh fuck, what's his name? The Dark Elf guy, the guy who played bad guys in everything, Hollywood movies. He's my favorite Doctor.
I was just thinking about him the other day.
This guy.
Yes.
It's in his episodes.
Eccleston.
That's the one. Thank you. That's actually an Eccleston doctor, by the way.
Yeah.
That episode with the Daleks is incredible. I love the Daleks versus Cybermen at the end of Rose's storyline.
Yeah, that's fun.
I think that's fun. I hate the New York Daleks.
That stuff is dumb. Just to put it out there.
I hate the World War II Daleks.
That stuff could have been cool, but feels like they missed it.
Yes, 100% they missed it.
Yeah.
And then they become the iPod Touch Daleks, and I hate the redesign.
iPod Touch Daleks. I don't know if I've seen.
That's the end of the World War II Daleks, where they take the spoiler, and they redesign themselves, and they come up with it's the same basic shape, but it's designed weird, and they come out looking like iPod Touches, where it's like one's white, one's orange, one's blue.
Oh, that one. Yeah. The part for me that I don't like is, again, spoilers, when they like crack open and there's stuff inside, and I'm like, I don't want that. I want the Dalek with like this one wiggly little like whisk that's pointing out from him, and clearly like it's shaking because someone made it really shitty. That's the Dalek I want, but like it never stops. Like it's gonna poke you with a plunger on its face.
Yeah, I mean, Daleks are down there for me. I love the introduction. I think what they've gone on to become have been a laughable riot.
Yeah.
Again, similarly, for the new seasons, the Weeping Angels, incredible introduction. I even like their second episode where it's the spaceship thing. That
one was okay. I didn't like the New York one.
Which New York? New York one. Okay,
yeah.
That's where the Angels start.
One of the dumbest turns. If they would have kept it to just that one episode, maybe the second one, that would have been okay. That third one is the one where I go, all right, this shit is done. Pull the plug.
To be honest, I think the best constant recurring one that I've seen, it's the Master, because I've seen him twice. Once where he's the old guy in the end of time, and then he regenerates to become the younger version of himself, and he does the whole end of Martha's season.
Yeah.
Like, as dumb as the sound of drums music is for that particular scene, it's so goofy, it's dumb.
Yeah.
As dumb as that is, he is a genuine threat there. Then he reoccurs later, which, again, I'm not going to spoil. That's still a really good storyline, and that brings depth to his character that nobody ever actually put forth, which I truly loved. But then I haven't seen the newest reincarnation, so I don't know if they get bad again, the Capaldi incarnation, but they just blow them all to the ground, and I despise the silence, which we will say nothing about.
Yeah.
I hate the silence with a passion.
Yeah. I feel like one of my bigger letdowns for villains is the Cybermen, because I feel like they could be really interesting, but
the Dalek Light.
Yeah, well, it's hard to make them scary nowadays, because it feels like they have done a good job of attempting to make the Daleks more modern, but with the Cybermen, it's sort of like, there's a million of them. It's like, yeah, that was scary 40, 50 years ago, but
yeah,
nowadays, like, it needs to be something.
Yeah, I mean, I love the little clone people. I can't remember the name of them. The potatoes.
Oh yeah, the little.
Now you know who I'm talking about when I say that.
Jiggly wibbly guys.
Yes, the potato people are really cool, but very one note. Jeez. Back of the neck is still one of my favorite jokes ever, and I don't think any American would get that. There is a scene when a character hits one of those people in that port on the back of the neck to put them down, and says "back of the neck." In soccer, whenever it's put in the through the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s, and early 90s, anytime someone would score a goal in soccer, the commentators would be like "back of the net." So it's a really good referential joke.
Specific reference
that nobody would get except for people who watch the UK soccer scene.
Right.
I mean, they're good. I like the villains who are more like one note, who come and go. The kid from that same episode with the potato people, like, he's a really good villain.
There was that one episode where Simon Pegg was a villain.
Yeah, he's a middleman. He's not a villain.
Yeah, I just wanted to talk about Simon Pegg.
He's the middleman to the mighty Jaggerfest.
Yeah, there you go. You got him. All right. On that note, on the Simon Pegg note,
we've got an hour of outtakes for everybody.
Yeah, there you go. We're balancing out our content here. You ready to get started?
Yeah.
All right, let's get started in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to another episode of That Video Game Podcast. I'm your host, Boston. Joining me as always is Moonpeer.
Hello.
Advance warning: if you've I guess following on Twitter or on Discord, Moon and I have had respectively some rough health week. Let's put it. So thank you. First of all, the episode might be a little shorter than normal, but thank you very much to all the community members who sent in a whole bunch of questions so we can sort of bring this episode out of I didn't play anything, and we can at least answer some questions.
Juice the numbers up a little bit.
Yeah. And we did have a ton of pre-show stuff, so if you listen to audio only, if you're a patron, patreon.com/E1M1, the ones or numbers, and get all that scooped up in one audio file where we talk about media and switches and Doctor Who and a lot of stuff. Or watch the video. That'll have most of it there. So, with that being said, let's get into what games you've been playing, Moon. Hopefully plural?
Yes, 2 this week.
Okay.
Really quick, you saying at the Patreon, www.patreon.com/E1M1, the ones and numbers. If you are a $5 backer, check out this month's ODNF for a really, really, really good unison read of the ones and numbers. I cut it out and I exported just that soundbite for myself because it's incredible. And then I realized you can't upload audio only to Twitter, and then I got annoyed and I wasn't going to produce a video just so I could put it on Twitter.
Right.
But yes, it's really good. Okay, so let's see. First game I've been playing this week, Walking Dead, New Frontier, final chapter, done and dusted. The game is complete.
Yes.
So guess what they do at the end of the New Frontier?
You get control of what's her butt again?
Clementine.
Yes, that one.
No.
Okay.
It does character. Well, let's just say the story, the relationships, everything like that. It's a Walking Dead game. It's a pretty good final chapter, but it's kind of the culmination of everything through the episodes before. I enjoyed it a fair bit. I know some people are not fans of it. However, the very end of the final chapter, they don't do it in any of the other ones, and probably a precursor to future projects. They did what your relationship is like with each individual person.
Like they did in Batman.
Nice. So I think this was the precursor to that.
Yeah.
Because they only did it at the end of chapter 5, whereas in Batman they started doing it at the end of every chapter.
Right.
So it was really cool. And then it gets so much weirder because at the end it tells you what type of Clementine you left the game with.
Oh, sort of like they were doing
in
Batman
Batman.
Season 2.
Yes.
Interesting.
It's literally, apparently there's 3 different forms of Clementine that you can have at the end of that game that carry forward into the final season of The Walking Dead.
Right.
And it's like someone who's, you can, from what I understand, I got someone who is renewed with belief and hope.
Okay.
You can also have someone who's middle of the road, and you can have a F the world, everything has gone wrong.
Burn it all down.
And I am broken, like she's referred to as broken Clementine.
Right.
And it gives you this character portrait of this Clementine that you're leaving, moving on to, onto the final season. So yeah, guess what? They did Walking Dead stuff and used that tech to develop the tech for the Batman games, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
It's good. I mean, to be honest, it's absolutely fine. It's a Walking. I've said this like 5 weeks in a row now. Like, it's what you'd expect. Things go wrong. people die, deals are not deals,
Right.
people zombified. There's really interesting relationships in there because you are technically dealing with two brothers and kids and relationships and all. Like, there's a very family dynamic in that one compared to all the other ones. Like, Walking Dead season 1, Lee becomes a father to Clementine by the end because of the relationship that they build.
Right.
Whereas this one, you start and you are dealing with family matters straight away.
Right.
Not the 80s TV show or whatever it is.
No, that's much different.
Yes. But actual interpersonal relationships between the family members, it controls fine, it runs well. Like, I would expect it to on the X, to be honest. So I don't know what it runs like on the other ones. But they were making steps to make the engine better. Not big enough steps, not fast enough steps, clearly. Right. But they were getting there eventually. I just think it took them too long.
Oh, 100%, yeah.
It's not a bad game, but it's not a banner waving game. Like, you talk to people about adventure games, and I can name maybe 3 banner games. No, 2 for me personally when it comes to adventure games. Mm-hmm. Life is Strange Season 1.
Yep.
And Walking Dead Season 1.
Yeah. Those are the must plays.
Yeah, those are the 2 games where people say, would I like this kind of games? Like, play one of those 2 and you will know if you like it or not. Like, I can't maybe Tales from the Borderlands, but it's a very specific sense of humor.
Yeah, and it's a little specific where I know not a lot of people play it if you haven't enjoyed the Borderlands games. I'm sure you could, but I feel like when Claptrap shows up, you're like, what the hell what am I playing? Like, what is this thing?
Yeah, it can be a little bit more awkward on that front, but
yeah,
it's a great game. Kind of possibly needed required reading in front of it, whereas Walking Dead Season 1 doesn't, and definitely Life is Strange Season 1 doesn't either, and those 2 are masterclasses of adventure games.
Speaking of Life is Strange 2, Episode 2 just came out last week, and what I didn't realize, so we didn't talk about it on the show, is Captain Spirit returns in that episode.
I have heard, and I am very interested to see where they go with that.
Yeah, that pushed me a little bit further towards, like, just suck up the price and just let's start getting in now before and anything gets spoiled for me.
Yeah, I still need to play Before the Storm. So
Before the Storm is so good. Oh my god, Before the Storm. So we were just talking about games we would recommend in this. I think Before the Storm is incredibly good, but like the first half of the first episode is a little bit rough because I feel like they almost don't settle into Chloe as a character until like an hour into the thing, which isn't a lot of time, but I feel like at the beginning of the game you only get like rough and tumble, really mean Chloe, and you don't get that other half of Chloe that Life is Strange does really well.
Yeah, you get the Chloe as she's portrayed in the first Life is Strange.
Right.
Like, because she is, minus being the fact that everybody is obsessed with her to an extraordinary degree, you don't really get the sense in Life is Strange Season 1 that she's actually a very good person.
Right.
Because she's playing off this dude to get drugs. She's playing off, Ashley?
The main character?
No, the other one.
Oh. Yes. What's that noise?
That was interesting.
Like an airplane coming closer to the house than I would expect.
Do you live near a lake? Do you have water?
I live near an ocean.
Okay, so get ready for when the aliens arrive and you can splash water on their faces.
Perfect. I'll be ready.
But Walking Dead New Frontier, it is what it is.
Yep.
Always let a cooler head prevail. It's not a bad game. That's a joke nobody's going to get, and I'm so happy I got it in here. It's, you know what you get into. If you're in for the Walking Dead stuff, you've probably already bought it and played it. I do like the storytelling on it. I like the humor. Some of the writing is actually top notch. The resolution's pretty good. And then the fact that it actually does the whole character thing with Clementine at the end is like, okay, this is where Batman got it from.
Right. Yeah, you can see like the beginnings of the DNA strands feeding into other stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Man, I really hope you get a chance to play Before the Storm soon, because
we own it, dude. I've just not played it.
Do you actually have, because I think it was like 3 episodes and then there was a bonus episode. Do you have all of the episodes?
I don't know if we have the bonus one.
The bonus one is really important because that ties directly into the beginning of The First Life is Strange.
Okay. So,
and it's only like, each episode is only like an hour to an hour 15 minutes, and then the other one is only like half an hour. It's all fairly short, but
yeah,
man,
I might have
good.
to. Well, I'm trying to clear out my hard drive because yes, it's me, and it's the constant struggle of space versus games.
Early spring cleaning.
Yeah. Speaking of which, we are proud owners of the Resident Evil 2 remake now. So I have not played that this week. I will be looking forward to playing that. And based on everything I've seen about that game, they need to remake every Resident Evil game.
Yeah, let's just start clipping through all of them.
From what I understand, this is their new Resident Evil engine. That's just what they've called it, is the Resident Evil engine. This is the same engine that 7 was built on, I believe.
Okay, the Rengen?
Yes, with some upgrades put in. So the Rengen Part 2 remastered.
Rengen 2.0.
Yes. So if they could do this, maybe, I mean, one got the HD remaster for the GameCube, which I still think is pretty good looking.
It's been remastered as many times as 4 has been.
Yeah. No, 4's been re-released, but not remastered. Come on.
Oh, that's fair. Yeah, that's a good point.
But they did do a remaster for the GameCube, which was an incredible job that they did for that back then. I don't know so much about 3. But if they want to go on a Yakuza spree and just start remastering these things,
go crazy.
It's one of the biggest game series for a reason.
Yep. After Monster Hunter.
After Monster Hunter.
Yeah.
Pro tip: 5 and 6, you don't need to bother with those.
You can just
take that eraser and just go.
It's like Leisure Suit Larry when it was either 5 or 6 that didn't come out, and it was like 4, 5, and then 7, and they're like, what about 6? It's like, don't worry about it. It never happened. Don't worry about it.
Like,
it's fine.
Is this Windows 10 all over again?
Yeah. No, it's more like Windows Me, where it's like, did that happen? Nope. Nope. Nothing happened. Everything was fine.
So I did play a whole bunch of Crypt of the Necrodancer as my comfort food game for this week. Go check out. We were like, I couldn't even think of the name of the show that we do.
WRI.
Yes.
Yeah.
Go check out that. I don't know why, but it became my comfort food game this week, so I'm fine with that. It's a good game, well worth your time. And the final game I played this week was Human Fall Flat.
Oh yes.
Which you mentioned at the top of the show, we really didn't have much game time. I played probably 3-4 hours of Crypt of the Necrodancer.
Mm-hmm.
I played probably an hour and a half of New Frontier.
Right.
And I played 7 hours of Human Fall Flat. Which, that's normally a Saturday for me. All of those hours totaled up is normally my Saturdays. So that should give you an idea of how little I actually wanted to play games this week.
Yep.
It was a whole bunch of lying on the couch and watching TV.
Yep.
Listen to Outcasts for read into that one as well.
For the exact TV shows that we love.
Yes. So Human Fall Flat, it's the physics-based puzzle platformer with wibbly people, kind of like Gang Beasts.
Yeah, very much like that ragdoll Gang Beasts craziness.
Yes. Except they get a little crazy because the game starts out, it's very simple. You push a button, you open the door, you go through the door. There's a switch. You put a box on the switch, the door opens, you go through the door. Mm-hmm. Oh, there's a little bit of minor platforming here that needs to get done. Great. Slowly but surely, it steps it up bit by bit by bit by bit. And these levels are all designed to be able to be played by one player.
Okay.
So there is always boxes and things like that. The game is also a co-op game at this point.
Ah.
With a maximum of 8 people.
That's so many. My
Yes.
God.
And let's just say, based on the mechanics of the game, which is right trigger, left trigger, look up and down, that's literally the mechanics of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can climb. Oh, A is jump as well. You can climb up platforms that are about your height, but to get higher than that, you need to move a box, put the box there, jump on top of the box, all in that hilarious Octodad kind of way.
Where you're like, you jump and you're sort of falling, butt over tea kettle on top of this thing.
Exactly, and the trigger buttons basically give you grip. So it becomes this weird human centipede ladder to get up some of these walls.
Right.
Well, just because we can't be bothered figuring out the puzzles to get the boxes where we need them to be to climb up the boxes, which you'd have to do in single player, it just becomes, okay, I'll hold on here, then you hold on to me, and then I'll go up, and then you go up. And
it turns into that Mount Your Friends game where it's like, all right, now you hop on me, and then 3 of us, and then you'll get up.
Yes, exactly. So it's very easy to break the levels when there's that many people. But like,
in a fun way, it sounds like.
Yeah, it's genuinely kind of funny. But it's one of those things where it's like by the time you're on level 3, it's like, okay, you're in a prison, like a castle.
Okay.
You're in a castle. Figure out how to get out of it. And there's no puzzle platform. It's like, okay, take the rock, smash the rock against the padlock. The padlock breaks, then you take the loop out and you can open the door. And on the next screen, there's a big pole which you can put between the bars and then wibble it to bend the bars and then get out of the bars.
Okay.
So it becomes very physics-based from like that point on.
That's cool.
And it just throws more and more mechanics at you, where it becomes logic puzzles while dealing with really, really over-the-top physics.
Yeah.
So having 4 people and just cheesing our way through the level was really handy.
Yeah.
Because by the end of it, we didn't care. We're just like, we need 4 boxes. There's a death trap mountain behind me that we need to go through to get 1 box. I think we're going to skip that, and we're just going to use each other to complete the goals.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like a solid 6-hour session where we started the game, we went all the way through it. We actually got the achievement for completing the game start to finish in 1 run.
Oh, wow.
The levels get so complex that the last level, or the second to last level, I should say, is an industrial power plant. And in order to get to the exit, you need to drive a truck up a mountain to get to the coal mine, where you use the conveyor belts to put coal onto the back of the truck to drive the truck back down this thing, and then drop the coal off in front of the burners, then put the coal in the burners and take the matchstick there to light the coal to make the burners go, to increase the pressure to speed up the fans, so you can basically do a triple jump through these like pylon fans.
Jeez.
When you're driving the truck, it's wibbly physics. So
Great.
there's a switch that goes forwards and a switch that goes back. And then in order to turn the truck, you need to hold both the triggers to hold the steering wheel and then move yourself.
You're flailing from left to right.
Which just results in a bunch of trucks going off the edge of a cliff and then respawning.
That's really good.
But then when they respawn, they're set to whatever they were at when they died. So then the truck will spawn, and it's suddenly going full speed to the left in a circle and driving off the same platform because it's so weird and so dumb. There was like I said, we played for like 6 hours. Like my wife put up a highlights package on YouTube of some of the stupidest moments. Mm-hmm. And there is a moment where I am screaming at one of the guys we're playing with to stop messing with a switch because it keeps on like I'm on a ski lift and I'm holding onto this hook thing to get me to the top so I can progress to the next section of the level. Mm-hmm. And this dude is just backwards and forwards on this switch. So the ski lift I'm on is rocking in the air.
Oh no.
And I'm on a tiny little hook, like on a chain on this hook. I'm holding on. It's like, I swear, if this chain comes off this hook, I'm going to find you and punch you. Because
we have to restart this whole level.
Mm-hmm. And meanwhile, I'm doing that, and my wife is just watching it happen and doing this little wibbly dance down at the bottom. Like her and our friend from the UK are just having the time of their lives doing like these weird wibbly shaky dances.
I just want to
like,
finish the level.
I don't know what's going on. That's fine. But if you want, go check out the clip if you're interested. She posted, I believe, on her Twitter.
I believe so.
But I think it's on her YouTube as well. It's fun. It's dumb fun, especially if you can get a group of people together. Like, it's something that I know it's on Game Pass, and I know somebody here has Game Pass other than me.
Who, me?
Yes, you.
I do still have Game Pass.
And honestly, it's a game that you can play while the young thing is around.
Right.
Because there is no violence. It's all cartoon people. It's like the guy made of clay from that art show.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say Art Attack, but that's the UK version, and that's got a head. What's that guy's name? Morph. Morph is the guy I'm thinking of. Tell me you.
I don't know what that's from.
You don't know who Morph is?
No.
Is this an English thing?
It might be.
Okay, well, Morph is a guy made of clay who was on an art TV show. So it's just basically a lump of clay, and you can make him look how you want.
Mm.
It's fun. It's dumb. I think single player would be interesting and challenging to an nth degree because of the logical lateral thinking you have to do for the puzzles. For multiplayer, it's just fun to break the game and be like, okay, these two people have progressed to this point. These other two people accidentally broke the sequence of the level and already are like 3 stages ahead of them. Okay, sure, whatever. I'd love to see an 8-player game of it and just see how chaotic it can be, because in our group of 4, we had one very, very, very big troll.
Mm-hmm.
For the record, not my wife.
Oh, wow. Twist.
The shock is the best part of that. Yeah. I will get in trouble for saying that on the episode that my wife is a troll, because she was the second biggest troll, but she didn't troll in this game.
Right.
She was mostly about doing the wibble dance and having a laugh and a joke.
Yeah.
Clifford the big red dog, he was the troll.
Oh, okay.
And it's anytime you get a group of more than 4 people or 4 or more, you're gonna get a troll.
Yeah.
And in this case, it's not a bad thing, because they can actually make things really dumb fun. When you're driving a speedboat and you're trying to get to an objective, and the controls being what they are, and all of a sudden you're just careening off to no man's land,
right,
because the troll dog decided to accelerate the jet ski up rocks or whatever.
Right.
But it's a fun game. Play it multiplayer if you can. Definitely worth your time, and it's on Game Pass, so technically it's free if you're a Game Pass subscriber.
That's right.
Or it's however many dollars a month you want to put into it.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much all I've been playing because my face hurts.
Well, I had my own health issues this week. Long story short is I had been getting dizzy early in the week. And I thought, well, that's fine. Probably allergies. It's been raining a lot here. I have a headache. It's nothing to be concerned about. Take it easier for a couple days. Wasn't getting better. Sort of, maybe I got dizzy enough to fall down. So that was when I said, hey, let's go to urgent care. That's probably the point where you go.
Just for the record, you weren't playing Ringa Ringa Rosie. Correct?
That's correct. I was doing a crazy activity called standing there doing nothing.
Okay. Just making sure.
Yeah, it wasn't like, I'm at the bottom of the hill. Oh, I fell down. Oh, weird. So had some stuff get checked out at the urgent care. They said, hey, fun story, go to the ER, because it might be serious.
Is always what you want to hear.
Yeah, exactly, especially since it's like 7 o'clock at night. Go to the ER, and they said, hey, it's only going to be a 6-hour wait. And I said, fantastic, cool, great.
Yep.
Wait the whole time. The ER staff, as normal, were fantastic. And they said, cool, you have vertigo. I was like, well, great, that's fantastic.
Did they say not to play any Assassin's Creed games for a while?
No, but that was probably the reading between the lines. That's really what they were saying. So they said, just like take it easy for a couple of days and don't do the things that make you dizzy. It's like, cool. That's not possible. Standing
up, playing games, looking after your child.
Right. Existing in general.
Yes.
So whenever I would try and go play any games or look at my phone or do much of anything, the room would start spinning. So I didn't really play anything until yesterday, sort of midway through the day. I started to the room started to stop spinning so aggressively.
Were you hungover this whole time? Were you very, very drunk for like 6 days straight?
No, unfortunately not, because due to some other medicine I'm on, I can't actually drink. So I can't even use that. But since I have Anthem pre-ordered, I got access to the Anthem VIP demo.
Okay. Is this NDA'd, or are you free to talk about this?
I am free to talk about this one. I believe I'm still NDA'd on the previous one, but it's not significantly different from this, so read from that what you will. I had one session where I got in, things were fine, everything was sort of running okay, and throughout the weekend, there were connectivity issues, which is understandable. There were infinite loading issues, which I'm sort of stuck in right now. And then there were rubber banding issues where I would go and perform an activity and it would rewind a couple seconds, and then it would immediately perform that activity again.
Yeah.
I'm personally not upset because I would like them to find these issues now.
Now, during a demo.
Right. And patch it for when it comes out next month.
But the internet is aflame with this based on, because I've been in such a bad mood. I basically have barely touched social media all week as well.
That's a good call.
I did a quick perusal today of my Twitter timeline, and literally it just seems to be everybody complaining about was it Kotaku? No, it wasn't Kotaku. They wouldn't be so crass. Maybe they would.
There was an article, I want to say maybe it was Newsweek, that was like, I can't believe this demo had connectivity issues we've seen in games since WoW launched in 2004. It's like, all right, back up.
Yeah. I'm sorry, do you make video games? Have you done the requisite research to figure out exactly what you're talking about?
Have you worked on a large-scale network before?
Shut your trap. That's all it takes.
The interesting part here is BioWare has been really upfront, which is great, about the issues, saying, look, we did some testing during the alpha. That went all right. We identified some issues. We did scale testing, and we did figure out a lot of stuff. And then when a lot of you started playing this, we didn't find that it was a scale issue. We found some other issues that we thought were rock solid, and we're working on those, but it's a large problem. And they say that it's a large enough problem that it's going to take them some time to fix. I am bummed that I couldn't play more, and we'll get into why in a minute. There is a public demo next weekend. I think it starts on the 1st, maybe, on Friday. I'm hoping they'll have the issues resolved by then, so everybody can play it. But I have Anthem pre-ordered, and I would like to play it when it comes out. And I'm hoping that these issues are resolved by the time that it comes out on the 22nd, I think is when it comes out. That being said, I really like Anthem. To clarify, I really like what they're presenting with the Anthem VIP demo.
Yes.
There's very little story. I think smartly they're keeping a lot of that stuff under wraps.
Good.
The beginning of the demo, the W in Fort Tarsis, I think is how you pronounce it. It's the tower in Destiny. It is your base camp in The Division. You know, it's the home base. And you can walk around. I wish that was a little bit faster. It feels very sluggish to like walk through the marketplace and interact with that stuff. And I like the customization of your javelin, which is one of your 4 suits that you can wear. The smart thing that they're doing is one player character can wear all 4 suits. So you don't have like, this is my Storm character, and this is my, you're not like maining one character. It was a very specific dish at Bungie when the trailer came out. It's like, you are not your suit. Right. You are more than that kind of thing. It's like very clearly a little... Right. Maybe don't do class-based characters there, Destiny. Yeah, and I like that. I like that idea that you have your character, and then you get to sort of mix and match how you want. I think the javelins look really cool. I think the game looks great. 4K HDR on PS4. Can't turn HDR off in the demo, which is weird. I'm hoping that's an option later on. I think Anthem feels really great. The shooting feels really good. The powers feel really like they land really satisfyingly. They feel very heavy when you hit enemies with them. Movement feels great. The flying feels unparalleled. I think that's the thing that is going to sell so many people when they do it the first time. Just jumping and clicking in the stick and having your character just... The camera changes and everything changes and all of a sudden you're just flying off in the distance. It is satisfying every single time.
I think I saw Gary Witter's gif of this earlier today. I was just like, okay, that animation looks incredible.
Yeah, like you do just a little hop. You know, the jump animation isn't anything to write home about. You do a little jump and then your jets kick in and all of a sudden it's weird because in the couple of frames they zoom out the camera and the whole game looks really different when you're doing that. I think that is flying in that just feels... I know that there's on PS4 and Xbox One, I know people are saying that feels really good. I understand from the PC version that there's some getting used to the flying controls there, the flying in the underwater controls, because I guess it doesn't feel as natural. But on console, it feels really great. I really wish I had played more of this, because getting an Anthem feels really great. The shooting feels great. Fighting the enemies feels good. Flying around and shooting enemies while you're floating in air and comboing between people and setting up debuffs to set up, you know, giant attacks feels... It's like when you started playing Destiny and it just feels good to play and it feels right. Like flying around and shooting these enemies and firing off these powers, they all just feel good. And I really hope that the final game can live up to what BioWare is trying to do. I feel like I didn't want to say I hope it lives up to expectations, because I feel like...
Come on, they've already been blown so too much high as it is.
That's my problem. Like, I feel like people... The frustrating part is I feel like after Dragon Age and Mass Effect, I feel like there's too much expectation on BioWare that if you're gonna stay with it, you're just gonna get let down. Like, this is a whole new thing. To me, I'd rather look at it not like here's a multiplayer loot shooter Mass Effect, because I feel like you'll get let down. I would rather see it as BioWare is going to try and not make a new game that stands on the shoulders of the other ones. They're just going to try something new. And I hope that they can execute on it, because I was thinking about it. I would love to have 4 games in this subgenre: Destiny, The Division, Warframe, and Anthem. I would love to be able to say, if you like Diablo and you want to play a shooter version of that, here are 4 options. One of them is probably going to do the most stuff right that really clicks with you. Division 2 obviously not being out, but I'm hoping that they take the eventual solid base that the Division got to and build on top of that. Messaging aside. And I really hope when Anthem comes out, I know we're going to see the same thing that has happened with every one of these games. It's going to come out, people are going to have a lot of fun, hit the end game, and number one, they'll probably dip out because they don't want to do the treadmill. And that's fine. I think if someone says, all right, I got to the end game and I don't like doing higher difficulties to get better gear to do higher difficulties, cool. That's
Me with Destiny 2.
exactly, and that's a lot of people with Diablo. They get to the end and they go, "Cool, what do I do now?" It's like, well, just Torment 1, Torment 2. You know, like that's and
Yep.
for a lot of people, that's not what they're in for. That's cool. I know there are going to be people that go into it and say, I can't believe there's not enough endgame. I can't believe there's not enough X, Y, and Z. This game is trash. I'm going back to blah, blah, blah. It's not as good as blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I know there's going to be a certain element of that, but I hope that Anthem and the team of BioWare has learned from a lot of the messaging issues that Destiny 2 has had. We're sort of like, if you can tell people, you know, the game came out, there's going to be X amount of end game stuff, and in the next 6 to 12 months, we're planning on putting out 1, 2, 3, 4 these things that are coming out.
Yeah, it's one of the things I loved about the Division at Ubisoft's press conference. Like, they dropped the reveal trailer like 2 days before the E3 press conference, and then in the actual press conference, they were like, "Here's the Division 2. Here's a brief like 30-second trailer, and now we're going to spend 20 minutes talking about the end game content because that's what you guys moaned about so much at the end."
They said
Division
like quarter 1 coming out with 2 dungeons and a raid, and these in quarter 2. Yeah, that was. I think that's all that people want, because if you look at some of these other games, the game has come out and people are saying like, okay, cool, like I sort of understandably ate all this content up really quickly. Are you guys going to come out with more? And you know, they'll go, I don't know. It's like, no, but really, like I would continue to play this if there's going to be more content, even if it's 6 months down the line. The one interesting thing about Anthem that feels interesting, because Destiny dropped it between Destiny 1 and 2, is that when you go to pick a mission, there's 6 difficulties: easy, medium, hard, and then 3 difficulties that are very much the hardest difficulty, where it's like you need to have this baseline gear level to go and succeed in this, but
Division
it'll
does
drop
the same thing.
the next gear level above that, and then so on and so forth. Very much like torment levels in Diablo.
I think it's weird how much like they've changed the Division because of that kind of thing. Because when it started, it had 3 difficulties. Now it's got 5 difficulties, I think. And this is like the story missions that you can do over and over and over and over and over again. But on top of that, it has world tiers, which is essentially torment levels for the worlds that you actually occupy. So you can set the world at world tier 7, and that will drop maybe a gear lower than you. But then set it to 8, and it'll drop yours, and then set it to 9, and it'll drop the one after yours.
Gotcha.
So you can do that, and then on top of that, jump in and do the difficulty level on the mission corresponding with what you have. Like to the point where the higher ends, you need 4 people in the squad, fully spec'd out, fully knowing exactly what to do with each type of enemy that comes up. Otherwise, you're just going to get beat down because it's a squad-based kind of game. Whereas you can knock it down to two difficulties, and you can solo it if you're high enough gear level.
Yeah, and that's the stuff that makes me so excited, because I like that treadmill. We'll talk about it here for my next game. And I like being able to say, all right, I see the pinnacle up here, like your raid or your 4-person dungeon or whatever. I didn't get to do the stronghold in the demo because I was having connection issues. But I know there is like the stronghold, there are versions of dungeons. I think it's 4-person, I believe. I like seeing that goal, and I like getting ever so slowly towards that goal and getting geared up and learning my class and all that stuff. And I think that's what's exciting me about Anthem. And I haven't been really watching much stuff about Anthem because I don't want to hop on the hype train. I'm so tired of
I'm blank slating this. Yeah, I'm blank slating this as much as I possibly can. And to be honest, I'm doing it with every game from this point on. Like, I will watch the reveal trailer. I'll watch the whatever
the
like
E3
trailer
stuff.
Yeah, I'll watch that kind of stuff. But Other than that, I'm not going to read every single article that comes out about a game. I'm not going to read
Yeah.
every single
You're
little
not going
thing.
to watch the customization live stream on Twitch. Like,
Exactly,
yeah.
because genuinely speaking, like I'm a savvy enough person and savvy enough gamer to know what I want each year coming out. I know the 5 or 6 games that are 100% must buys to me, and this game is a must buy to me.
Yeah.
I will be getting it day one. I don't care if it ends up being amazing or if it ends up being terrible. I am just going to get it and play it and make my judgment after that point.
Yep.
I will hear things like, we'll talk about stuff like, next week I'll tell you all about how Resident Evil 2 the remaster plays, and then you might say, wow, that sounds incredible. I'm a wuss. I'm never going to play that game.
Right.
So, this is our conversations. You can tell me all this stuff about the alpha and say, okay, now that gets me interested and that gives me hope. I'm not going to sit there and go, this is going to be the best game ever. This is going to be an elite dangerous killer.
Right.
I'm not going to come out and say that until I play the game, and then we'll see where my time goes. Because Elite Dangerous, you might sit there and think, okay, technically it's a game as a service.
Sure.
The thing with me is I will play it hardcore for a month, and then I will walk away for 6.
Right.
And I'll come back and play it for a month.
What people don't understand is that's fine. Like, I'll do that occasionally with Destiny, where sometimes I'll play it every single day for a week for like 2 or 3 hours a day. And then for 2 or 3 weeks, I'm not playing it at all. Or I'm playing like maybe an hour a week. That's okay. Like, there's other stuff out there. You don't need to... As much as the developers, and especially the PR side of these companies, want to tell you, you don't have to play this as your only game every day, 365 days a year. And I think once people start coming to terms with that, then that's fine. Like, don't feed into the FOMO of, boy, all your friends are playing Anthem. It sort of sucks you're not playing it. It's like, that's fine. It can also be not for you, or you can just say, like, oh man, this Resident Evil 2 came out. I'm gonna go play that. Like, if you really want to run a raid or something, yeah, I can pop in for a couple hours. But if you're just gonna be doing dailies, I'm just gonna rock out and do this other stuff.
And I'll be honest, like, that's one of the things I've always loved about Warframe to a lesser extent, but Elite Dangerous is a good example of this, because guess what? In Elite Dangerous, there are no gear tiers, there are no loot levels or anything like that. It's about the ship that you have and what you do with that ship.
And what you want to do with your space time.
Exactly. It's like, I've got an Anaconda now. I want to make that thing the biggest, baddest MFer out there in space. That is going to take me about 3,000 hours to get everything I need to get that where it needs to go.
Right.
But that's not going to stop me from jumping in my Asp and doing a little bit of jumping around, or jumping in my Cobra and getting myself a bit of mining progress going on. Because... let's say if I wanted to jump in and say, okay, well, hey, Nim, do you want to come and join me in some mining fields? He might say, I don't really have a mining ship, but he's got a bounty hunting ship because mining fields are full of people trying to steal your stuff. So he might come in and use his bounty hunting ship to protect me while I do my mining thing.
Right.
It's like, there's so many different things you can do and roles you can do, but you're not limited except for the limits that you have on yourself because of your ship.
Right.
But there's no pressure to ever sit there and get the next biggest thing.
Right.
Like, I'm pretty sure my wife has no interest in getting an Anaconda because it's too big and unwieldy for her. She'll go mid-range and she'll be happy with that.
Right.
There is no pressure to maintain this kinship with your friends and people because of loot levels or these false limitations put on these different mission types. It's like, that's one of the reasons I can jump in and out of Elite so frequently, is because I don't have to worry about somebody else getting to the next loot level and me being locked out of stuff because they can do it and I can't.
Right.
I maybe be able to do it a little bit slower because I have a lower capacity ship, but I can still do it.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm excited about Anthem coming out, but maybe not for any particular reason. It's more like I'm excited to see what BioWare can do
in that space.
When they do something a little bit different. It's almost like, your favorite band says, like, man, I've really been getting into some more country music lately. We're going to take our rock sound and we're going to put a little bit of country in it. I was like, all right, cool. Like, this, it'd be a little different. It might be good. It might not be, but it'd be interesting to see.
A really good example of that for me is when any heavy metal band that I like has a tendency to hook up at some point with an orchestra.
Yeah. Yeah.
Metallica, Scorpions, Muse, like these are people who have introduced symphonic music into heavy metal, and it's just this sweet, amazing nectar of goodness.
Yeah. The only other game I played this week is there's a new season of Diablo 3, the season of the Grandeur. I don't know how much you played of the sort of post-story of Diablo 3. Did you ever get into the Ring of Royal Grandeur stuff?
The Ring of Royal Grandeur is that the one that leads to the cube?
No. So this one is
the Ring of Royal Grandeur. The Ring of Royal Grandeur is a must-have skill that you activate using the cube, I believe.
Well, you can do that. So the ring, what it'll do is when you have your gear sets, it's like 2, 4, or 6 pieces.
It reduces the necessary requirements by 1.
That's correct. Once you get past 2. And with Kunai's cube, that's typically what people do. They put it in there, so instead of having 6 pieces, you just have 5. So that's a permanent effect this whole season. You don't need to equip anything. You don't need anything at all. You just have it on all the time. So that so far has been pretty fun. I played for a bunch on Saturday, and I think I'm up to like Torment 8 or 9 right now. I was just trying to do 10, and that was a little too tough. I need more health. The other thing I did was I actually went through the full Darkening of Tristram event that runs January of every year. That's the throwback to Diablo 1. They have that crummy filter on it. You can only move 8 directions. I actually finished it this time, which it was a little bit longer than I was expecting. The great part that I didn't realize is when you finish it and you kill Diablo, number 1, the ending cutscene from the original game plays in all of its terrible quality.
Yep. Is it a postage stamp size on your screen?
And I don't even think it's 4:3. I think they stretched it a little bit. It still looks fine, but I think they managed it to do some 16:9 business. The crazy thing is, when you finish the event, you get the gem that you dig out of Diablo's head as one of those legendary gems that you can put in one of your rings.
That's pretty cool.
And it's something like every once in a while you lose control of your character and they set everything on screen on fire for like 12,000% damage. So something like crazy like that. So that was kind of a fun little, like, hey, don't forget Diablo 1's ending was kind of crazy. You take this thing out and jamming it back in your own head.
Yep.
But yeah, Diablo 3 was my comfort food this week because very little screen shake. I can focus on just this one character that's steady in the middle of the screen. And
I'm assuming you were not the warrior doing the cyclone attack.
No, I was the demon hunter this time, because plant yourself off in the distance and sort of pick people off. But yeah, Diablo 3 obviously still great, and I usually dip my toes back in every time a season comes up, and I play for a little bit and go, all right, Diablo 3 is still really cool, and then just sort of move on to something else.
Yeah.
But that's all I've been playing this week. So let's take a break.
Yep. I really need to run the bathroom.
Okay.
Be right back.
Hello, everyone in chat. Lips of Town says, can you react to Godzilla King of the Monsters trailer 2, please? I have no idea what that is. Sorry. I don't... Is that the movie? Let's look. Godzilla King of the Monsters. That's a movie. Not interested. That's my reaction. Not interested. Alright, let's look at news stories here. Hanging out with all you fine peeps. Fortnite Save the World is a weird but fun co-op game. Man, I wish I could... I don't think you can buy that anymore, right? This dude that is just... Every time I Go to record. He's running his leaf blower. Fortnite Deluxe Edition Founders Pack. I feel like, is that the full Fortnite experience? Because I really want Fortnite. Fortnite Battle Royale is great. You know, I'm not here to poop on that. I've always wanted to play Save the World, and I feel like I missed that train. Now it's probably a lot more confusing. I feel like it's now probably a lot more confusing to purchase, because Fortnite, before Save the World was Fortnite, quote unquote, but now when people say Fortnite, they're talking about Battle Royale, so you can't just say like, I want to buy Fortnite. It'll be like, no, you can just, you download it, it's free. So that'll be a little bit tougher. What else do we have? Aquaman is now the biggest DC movie of all time. Okay. Hearthstone is making ranking up less time consuming. Someone is trying to recreate the first Legend of Zelda in Doom. They've been working for 3 years. Man. Splatoon 2. Fortnite Save the World mode, hey, there we go, is removing blind boxes. Doing it with mystery loot boxes in Fortnite Save the World mode, replacing them with transparent goodie packs, allowing the players to see what's inside their llamas before considering their purchase. Well, that should have happened before. I really want to play that. Anthem VIP demo. Bauer says it knows what the problems are, is working to fix them. Cool. Server capacity was not the issue, but others still must be addressed. Yep.
Ciao.
Hey, Moon's back.
Oh, let me just break everything. Don't mind me.
Hello, welcome back.
Oh, thank you. Ow. Ow. Pain. 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 Ring a bell. Pain.
You finally morphed into a Metal Gear Solid boss.
Let's see. If I was going to be a Metal Gear Solid boss, who would I be?
I want to be the dude that shoots bees out of his mouth.
No, you don't. That is actually the pain, funnily enough. Talking about on topic. You know what? I'll be the end.
There you go.
Just chilling out in a jungle.
Yeah,
like
having someone wheel you around.
Yeah, become one with the animals. Yeah, give me the end.
All right, I am ready to finish this thing out whenever you are.
Give me 2 seconds. Should have brought my painkillers up with me, but I didn't.
Yeah, what time is it? 3:30? I don't need to take more yet. Oh man.
Yeah, right now it's just this side which is the problem.
Oh yeah.
Which is funny, because this wisdom tooth was growing in diagonally.
That was the one that seemed like a real problem.
I was like, boop, boop, done, done.
Nice.
And this one was like growing in normally, and this one was like a 20-minute like fracture and extract procedure.
Jeez.
So
I'm glad it went well though.
I'm talking like a regular folk. I'm just not raising my voice or opening my mouth too much at the moment.
Right.
Because like I'm just trying to minimize like stretching and stuff like that.
Yeah, you want to just let it do its thing for as long as you can.
Just chill, enjoy the warm, sloppy liquids I get to eat for meals for a couple of days.
Yeah.
So let me tell you, protein shakes are a lifesaver.
Oh yeah.
Because it's like I've been having one of them every morning, taking it into work with me, start my day with a protein shake so I can take my painkillers and antibiotics. And it's like, it makes the world of difference. Because it's just like, I feel full, I feel, I feel resolutely like I've eaten.
Right.
Even
I'm not
if
in a lot of pain. That's all you can ask for.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Take a little baggie of salt with me everywhere as well. It's like, I don't look like a drug dealer, I swear.
It's just salt, I promise.
with my current hobo face going on.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Ready when you're up.
All right, let's get started in 3, 2, 1. Let's talk releases for the week of January 28th, 2019. Sunless Skies is coming out of early access for PC, OS X, and Linux. This is the sequel to Sunless Sea, which is the deliberate game that Moon and I played for We Roguelike It. If you haven't listened to that, that whole series for that game is up on the free feed now. So go check out our Descent into Madness. Next up, Wargroove comes out for the Switch. This is the game that I think was kickstarted a while ago. This is the Advance Wars spiritual successor.
Oh, dude, if it was Advance Wars mixed with Crypt of Necrodancer.
Boy, yeah. Yeah, with a name like Wargroove, like...
Exactly.
Yeah, that'd be great. This is the one that has one of the generals is a dog that you've probably seen.
Of course.
This looks pretty cool. I'm hoping that it would be really great to have another Advance Wars style game out, because Fire Emblem isn't really the same, and that seems to be what Nintendo's focusing on right now. So I'm hoping this is good. And last but certainly not least, Kingdom Hearts 3 comes out on PS4 and Xbox One.
Oh boy.
I could not be more... I finally am allowing myself to be excited because it came out in Japan already. And I'm relatively sure that it's actually coming out. I'm uncontrollably excited about Kingdom Hearts 3.
When it's installed on my hard drive and I can hit it and say play and it loads to a title screen.
Fires up, you hear the piano.
Then I will allow myself to be excited.
Have you pre-ordered it?
No.
Okay.
I probably should, but I will be buying it digitally, so it doesn't really matter for me.
Yeah.
Oh no, did you run out of digital stocks? No, you didn't.
Yeah, thankfully it's not Blizzard. They're not running out of CD keys. But yeah, I will be talking about... This is, thankfully, T-Bomb Rocks in the community and I were talking about this. One of the games I can very confidently say I can play in front of my kid. So I will hopefully be playing a lot of this week. I've already muted a whole bunch of stuff on Twitter, so no one will spoil me about who got Norded, because I don't want to know early. And I will have a lot to talk about next week, and it will hopefully be good.
And this is where, before you know it, Elsa from Frozen suddenly went straight hood, and you cannot play this game in front of your kid anymore.
Pulls out a gun.
Yes. A gun made of ice to shoot ice bullets, just like Golgo 13, the professional, would do.
That's right. That's right. Elsa the professional. Let's move on to news stories. There's a report that a Resident Evil TV series is happening at Netflix. Normally I wouldn't talk about this, but I feel like out of any of these video game things you could turn into a TV series, Resident Evil seems like a fairly straightforward, like, okay, I could see how you could do that.
Well, I mean, to be honest, I wouldn't have put much stock in this, but if two studios announce something, or two companies announce something, or get teased about it, I'm more tendency to believe them. That is the CW and Netflix.
Right.
Because who would have thought that they would make a Green Arrow TV show that is incredible?
Right.
Who would have thought they would make a Flash TV show that's incredible?
Right.
Who would have thought they would have made a Supernatural TV show that just won't stop?
Just let it sleep.
And then who would have thought that Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Iron Fist, and Luke Cage would get TV shows, and that they would be amazing?
Well, in Castlevania, cause that was one we talked about on the show, where it's like, I don't know how you're going to do this, man, and they knocked out 2 really great seasons. It's like, oh,
I haven't
that's
seen
how
the
you do
second
it.
season.
I
The first season is truly incredible.
I heard the second season is really good. But yeah, I feel like when you look at Resident Evil making that into a TV show, it's like, okay, yeah, I could see you making something pretty good out of that. Or something pretty crazy, which would fit as well.
Well, they're losing the comic book licenses to Disney's streaming service, so you know they've got to keep the nerds somehow.
Yeah, exactly. And the second news story here this week is Nintendo came out to talk about Metroid Prime 4, and surprisingly, they put out a very honest video that said, look, Metroid Prime 4 has been in development for a while, and we're really not happy with how it's going. So we thought we'd tell you guys honestly that the team who was making it before, which oddly has never been named, they're not working on it anymore, and we gave it to another team, and it's Retro Studios. Bad news is
did they do Prime 1, 2, and 3?
Yep. And that's the good news. Bad news is they're restarting development.
No, you know what? Good on them.
100%. Yeah. To me, it makes me feel this is weird because we've been talking about transparency in development for a couple of weeks here.
A couple of years, No Man's Sky.
Well, yeah. And I feel like this is really interesting and important for Nintendo of all companies, you know, gargantuan in size and typically very, very quiet when it comes to development,
and also typically behind the times.
Right.
Look at their development, like for the online service. Tell me that's cutting edge, and I will have to laugh.
Right.
Like, they usually Nintendo are the last people to pick up on this kind of stuff. So the fact that it's Nintendo coming out and being like, "Yo, we can be straight up honest with you guys. This is the situation," and the fact that I'm assuming that the usual hate boys are out there, you know, banging their pitchforks and spears against their shields to try and call for the head of the developer of the studio or whatever. But at the end of the day, I'm hoping they get so many more people coming out and saying, "Thank you. This is a good way to handle this stuff."
And the surprising thing is there hasn't been a lot of hate. A lot of it has been like, "Oh, that's a bummer. I've been looking forward to it, and you know, it's been a long time coming." And a lot of it has been like, "Okay, cool. Thank you for not leaving us in the dark for a couple more years. Let's assume." And thank you for giving it back to Retro, because they did 3 really, really great Metroid Prime games. So if you're going to give it to anybody else, that's sort of the first on anybody's list.
Yeah. I mean, good example of this is, or the opposite of this is, hey, Rockstar, when is that Agent PlayStation 3 exclusive game going to come out?
Yeah. We don't remember. Yeah, but so good on Nintendo. I hope that between that and between the stuff BioWare has been talking about the last couple of days, being very transparent about the struggles, I hope that can encourage more studios to talk about more of this stuff, and I hope that it educates people that may not know about the difficulties of development processes, that this stuff is common and making games is hard. So
yeah.
You know, put down the death threats.
Yeah.
Put up the thumbs and say, "All right, Metroid Prime 4 is still in development." So
Jason Schreier can only publish so many books a year, guys. We need
Let him sleep.
we need the developers to be more open rather than once every 4 years when a book comes out.
Right. All right, let's move on to questions. Thank you again for community sending in a whole bunch of questions for us this week,
and also for your understanding and well wishes.
Yes, thank you very much. That we both greatly appreciate it. The Hannah in Discord says, "So I'm trying Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen again. The first pawn you get in the game is named Rook, which is incredible." Yes, that is incredible. What's your favorite dumb wordplay moment in a game? You just mentioned in We Rogue Like It the name of a skeleton in Crypto the Necrodancer. What was it?
Xylobones.
Yep, Xylobones.
Which is
the
Freddie Merchantry.
Freddie Merchantry is the unofficial name of the merchant in there. That one is really good.
I think it might be officially canon because he's in the credits for my version, and I know my version was one of the last ones that came out. So that's really console being what it is, so that's great. I love dumb wordplay. Like, yeah, if it's a really bad joke, like even if it's not a really bad joke, it's like. This guy has always been good for that with some of the items that you can steal from people, in particular chapter 2 of the first Disgaea, there's a zombie that's made up of the best parts of everything.
Right.
I can't name what the item you can steal is because it's a PG-rated show, but there's a really fun joke about the genitalia of said zombie and where it
Oh,
comes
that's
from.
right.
There we go.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
It's so dumb, but so funny at the same time.
God, yeah. Yeah, I feel like not a lot of games have fun with that. I love Dragon's Dogma, and I cannot believe I forgot that the first pawn you get is named Rook. That's really great, either translation work or original writing.
Yeah, I also love the deep cuts. Metal Gear Solid 2, when Snake is disguised as one of the soldiers, he introduces him to himself as Pliskin.
Right.
Which is a reference to Snake Plissken, who is the protagonist of the Escape series, played by that guy.
Kurt Russell?
That's the one. Thank you very much.
I knew that one. Hey.
He.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. There's been some really good puns recently. I was only thinking about this like 2 days ago, and now I've lost it again.
I just remembered one of my favorite/worst lines in MGS2. You need to go touch the node. Did you say nerd?
Yeah.
It's just like, okay, Raiden.
Yeah, Raiden's a problem.
I love Raiden because he's. I will not get into it. I love Raiden.
You love Raiden because he causes so much pain and hate in the Ned popular culture.
That's part of it, yeah.
It's
I like the gnashing of teeth.
Yeah, Schadenfreude, it's ultimate, you know.
Yep. That's me. Darkwave 1062 in Discord says, if you had to pick one console to be your only gaming device for the rest of time, which would you choose? PC doesn't count.
Easy, Xbox 360.
Boy, that's a good one. I would actually pick Game Boy Advance.
It's a good one too.
I feel like the strength of both of those consoles is the incredibly large and crazy good catalog.
Yes. I mean, yeah, I'd miss out on some things, like some of the PlayStation exclusives from that gen, the Uncharted, the Last of Us, so on and so forth, but
that's a drop in the bucket.
The pure library on the 360 was insane.
Yeah. Yeah. The only other thing I could think of is potentially PS2, because that had a really strong catalog too.
That had the insanest catalog because that was all the remnants of the Dreamcast stuff getting ported over.
Yeah.
That was the last bastion of Japanese insanity until the Yakuza games came out on PS3. Like, because the PlayStation 2 is one of my favorite generations just because of the... You could go to I own a copy of Vib Ribbon.
Yep.
And I picked it up not knowing a single thing about it, but it was cheap and it was in the store, so I picked it up on part of like a 2-for-1 deal or whatever it was. And oh boy, does like the PlayStation 1, like I think it's the last time we've had that kind of console generation.
Yeah.
PlayStation 3 and 4 to a slightly lesser extent, but the PS1 was insane.
I feel like the PS1's real strength was it was really cheap to make games for it. So Squaresoft at the time was sort of famous for allowing anyone in the company that had a really great idea. It's like, here's $1 million, go make it. Let's see if it's successful.
Let me tell you all about a nice little Square project called The Quiet Man.
That's more like $200. Oh man. T-Bomb Rocks in Discord says, with the hype building around Mortal Kombat 11 and the success of recent fighting games like Soul Calibur 6, Dragon Ball FighterZ, etc., it seems like the fighting game genre is back and better than ever. Do you see this trend of great games continuing, and how do you see this genre evolving?
Honestly, I think it's this resurgence is because of Capcom, because of Street Fighter 4 specifically.
Yeah,
that kicked this whole thing back up again. Like, you had what's your boys, the developers, fighting game developers, your boys,
Team Ninja. Oh, Arc System Works.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You had them doing solid work in the background the whole time.
Yeah, making
and
some
other teams,
quote, anime fighters.
yeah, you had Konami. No, not Konami. Tecmo making Dead or Alive.
Yep.
You know, again, quietly chugging along in the background, fans of the genre and so on and so forth. Street Fighter 4 brought fighting games back to the mainstream, and then I think the biggest game changer in this whole thing was Fighter Z.
Yep.
Because that is a license that speaks to so many people. Because my wife's probably never seen any of it, but she knows who Goku is.
Yeah, and she knows Fighters has 6 or 7 Gokus.
Like, that introduced people to a world of beat 'em ups that were not Capcom related.
Yeah.
And I feel like that game has unleashed the potential for things like Arc System Works games, because I think it's an Arc game anyway.
It is, yeah.
It introduced them to, oh, these people make really incredible fighting games. And by the way, that here's 50 games they put out in the past 6 years.
Right.
And Dead or Alive getting the jiggly gravity turned down a little bit.
Yeah.
Is it going to help hopefully give that a new thing? It's an upwards trend, and I hope it continues going upwards. And I hope that Capcom gets slapped in the face for doing the same thing and the way they treat their re-releases. Because, oh boy, do I not like the way Capcom does some stuff, specifically in the fighting game market.
Well, I think, to me, too, the important thing about Dragon Ball Fighters is that, especially nowadays, it's fun to watch. So it's not even just at EVO is it fun to watch. It's fun to fire up a stream that someone's playing just against random internet people. And it's fun to watch the chaos. You know, the thing that Marvel vs. Capcom 2 was really great at, that the further it got away from that, further that series got away from 2, it got less and less great about. And I think the thing that Mortal Kombat 11, as much as I'm not really interested in it, it could potentially be good for that as well, just to be some of the stuff they're showing in videos looks like it will probably be fun to watch that be played, more so than especially 9 and 10, because those were not the most exciting games to watch getting played. Injustice 1 and 2 made it a little bit better, but not to the level where like Fighters does and Mortal Kombat 11.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I hope it's an increased swing, because the more that these games come out and eat Capcom's lunch from underneath them, the happier I am, because it will force them to rethink what they're doing.
Yep.
Because whether you want to admit it or not, how many different versions of Street Fighter 4 exist?
I genuinely don't even know. I don't even... off the top of my head, I would probably say 4.
If not more, because you've probably got at least 4 on the 360 and the PlayStation 3 generation, let alone what's since then.
Yeah.
So,
and 5 has a similar problem. 5 has its own problems, but it also has similar issues.
So, like, good on Arc, good on, you know, NetherRealms. NetherRealms, just for coming out of the woodwork and being like, yo, MK11, yo, it's out in 3 months.
Yep.
Like, they did the Bethesda thing, and I love that stuff. I love it when there's like, speaking of riding the hype train, nobody wants to ride the hype train when it goes 2 miles an hour.
For 2 years.
Yeah, if you jump on the hype train and all of a sudden it's a bullet train going 260 mile an hour.
Right.
That will get me hyped, because, oh, this trailer, this game, oh, it comes out in 2 months. Oh,
like it's definitely one thing to say, watch a trailer and be like, that looks pretty good. Oh, it's out in March. Okay, cool. Like that feels much better, especially if you want to go pre-order it now or whatever. That's becoming a lot less important. But there's something to be said. I agree with. Here's our brand new game. It's out in 3 months. It's like, okay, cool.
It goes from being on your radar to being danger close, and it's just like, oh, okay.
Yeah. T-Bomb Rocks in Discord says, I've recently started paying attention to the free game weekends on Xbox One. It's very similar to what's been going on Steam for years. Last weekend focused on Override Mech City Brawl, a pretty fun take on King of the Monsters, and both Metro games. Excuse me. This weekend is Dragon Ball Fighters. My question is, do you think this makes a big impact on sales, or do you think the majority just use it as a rental/marathon session? Probably 50-50.
Yeah, I'd say probably 50-50 because I think for every grown-up you've got who can't decide if they want to buy something, like it would have been a good chance for me to decide if I wanted to pick up Fighter Z,
Right.
minus my weird obsession to be if I've started a game I must finish it kind of thing.
Right.
If I didn't have that, I could have loaded it up, seen if I liked it, and then bought it, which I want to buy it anyway. I'll get there eventually. It's just too many games. But for every flip side of that, you've got kids who have got no expendable income.
Right.
Maybe they've got Game Pass, and that's doing them a solid right now.
Play with their friends over a long weekend.
Exactly, and then they find out that this game that they watch on Twitch with their buddies and talk about all the sick drops and moves that are happening and the full screen Kamehameha that's going on is
Their
currently
jazz cigarettes and whatnot.
yes. Suddenly that's free to play for a weekend. It's like, okay, let's download it, let's play it, let's smash it,
Yeah.
and then maybe we'll get it for Christmas or something, or for a birthday or a Thanksgiving gift.
And I think the thing for me too is that the real casualty of the last generation was the demo. Usually we'll get beta weekends and we'll get, stuff like that. I feel like the great thing about these free play weekends is that it's so much more than a demo, because if you have 10 hours over a weekend, in some magical mystery land, you could put 10 hours in this game and say, all right, I really do like this, and there's way more to this game than I thought, and maybe it's on sale for $30 as part of this weekend. I'm going to scoop it up, and I'm just going to keep on playing.
Yeah.
I think that's really valuable.
I mean, that's the biggest loss from the 360 days is the death of the demo.
Yep. 100%.
Because it's like, why not just give me a demo? Like, if memory serves, it was a requirement on 360. If you wanted to be sold digitally, you had to have a demo.
Yep. Yeah,
Like,
at the very
that
least
sucks.
for live arcade games, if I remember correctly. Yeah. And the thing is, more demos don't come out because it's hard. They're hard to make. It's hard to isolate that stuff and make a brand new tiny game out of a slice of your game. That's why, like the Anthem demo is at least 2 months old. It's because that's what they had for trade shows and internal stuff and things like that. So that stuff unfortunately is hard. So I'm glad that Microsoft's doing more free weekends, because I think they really should. That's cool.
And it's a good chance for games too, because it can put a spotlight on something that not many people are paying attention to.
Yeah, or try a genre that maybe haven't played a lot of fighting games. So scoop up Dragon Ball Fighters and try one. And if you don't like it, then you say, oh, well, I lost an hour, but that's fine. Delete it and keep moving on. Misum in Discord says, what type of game or life event would make either of you ditch your favorite games as a service game, i.e. Destiny, Elite Dangerous, etc.? With Anthem coming out, is it feasible to add another onto the docket, knowing you may have a multi-year relationship with the game on top of what you're already managing?
I love that phrase, by the way. A multi-year relationship with the game.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is sort of the question about games as a service games. I have Destiny, you have Elite Dangerous, and...
Oh, please. I've got Elite Dangerous, Warframe, Fortnite.
Yeah.
I don't play any of them regularly, but they're there.
So I think the thing for me is Cecilia, I don't know how to pronounce her last name, over at Kotaku, and I'm sorry. She wrote a really great
breaking your heart?
No. She wrote a really great article about Overwatch not being her third place anymore. So for anyone that doesn't know that term, typically your first and second places are work and home, and then your third place is where you spend the majority of your free time. It could be library, the gym, Twitter, live streaming, whatever.
So for example, for you, Destiny might be your fourth place. Because it would be, if you were working a regular job, it would be work, home, kid, Destiny.
Well, kids are usually not worked into it. Like home is like your overarching responsibilities and your family and all that stuff. So Destiny for me is my third place. It is when I want to go do something, I can fire up Destiny and I can do something in the game. I don't talk about it that often, but I have had a lot of health issues for the last year, and I am in some amount of pain every second of every day. And some days are good, and some days are bad. And when I have bad days, that third place is really important to me, because I can go play Destiny and I can go not be in pain anymore. And I can use it as a really healthy escape to take my mind off of whatever I'm dealing with for sometimes even 15, 20 minutes. And that's really great. And I think for me, Destiny becomes more than shooting aliens in the face and throwing space magic. It becomes that third place for the necessary escapism that people use the third place for.
Yeah.
And I think if you're gonna replace Destiny, for me, it has to do that and be a better game than Destiny and keep me invested on potentially a daily basis, which I feel like is asking a lot, but I love the Destiny franchise. It's 2 games, I know, for a whole bunch of reasons, and for me to stop playing Destiny would be a lot in general.
Yeah.
And there'll be a game eventually that comes out, because Bungie will have a big screw up, they'll stop developing Destiny, or something will happen. But
they will close because they are by themselves now. That is
or they will something will bomb and they'll close. You know, it's the market is fickle. But the thing that we were talking about at the beginning about Anthem being, you know, the 4th entry in this subgenre, I'm excited for Anthem to become that for people, like Warframe and The Division have been.
Yeah.
And it doesn't need... The thing that I'm not saying that Musim is saying this, and thankfully I haven't seen this from a lot of outlets, it's not a Destiny killer. You know, we've gotten so far away from Halo killers and Doom killers. I don't think
Sony for that wonderful piece of marketing.
Yeah. I don't think... probably internally, BioWare is saying, like, look, what if we made our version of Destiny and we just make it the way we... Obviously, you resolve a lot of the issues that Destiny has. I love it, but it has a lot of issues. But they're not coming out and saying, like, push Destiny to the side. That's a piece of... Snap your disc in half. Anthem's coming. And it's going to blow your face off. You know, it's nothing like that.
What if my disc is installed on a hard drive and it's all digital?
Snap that hard drive in half. You don't even need them. The internal on your... delete everything off your Xbox One. Anthem's coming to town. And it's probably have a 40 gig day one patch. Plow! You know, like...
Probably.
Yeah. Like, but that's what I'm really happy to see out of those 4 games, to be truthful, is, you know, Bungie's not saying, like, the Division, Destiny, yay! You know, none of that.
Yeah.
But I don't know, I hope that Anthem is great, and primarily I hope that... I would love to see if there was one of those games that all of my friends on one console or another were playing often. Not every day. I don't want to fire up... You know, I don't expect to fire up and see 10 people are playing Destiny 2 today. Let's run a bunch of raids. Yeah, you know, that sort of stuff. But I'd like to see one game like that the majority of my friends are playing pretty often. I think we haven't gotten that game yet.
Yeah, it's that big release day thing where you load up your friends list and everybody is playing the same game.
50 out of 60 people are playing.
Yeah.
I mean, what I'm looking for, I think, is Left 4 Dead 2 again, where I can send a message to some of my friends and say, like, hey, man, do you want to play, like, a round of Left 4 Dead 2? And almost everybody
you've got
like,
8 people. Yeah.
Yeah, and, like, all of a sudden you're like, yeah, yes, I could play more Left 4 Dead 2. I feel like a lot of times with some other... we haven't gotten to that level yet where it's like, hey, man, do you want to play a little Destiny? It's like, I'm playing Red Dead 2. Sorry, see you later. Which is fine. but we don't have that like groundswell of like, let's get everybody together and do something.
Honestly, Game Pass is a big change for that for me, because
yeah, that's true.
Because I haven't had that experience in a long time where I've just been able to say, hey, do you want to play some of this game?
Do you want to go play Warhammer?
Yeah, everybody has fragmented their markets. So, like, back then, like, even on the 360 days, like, everyone picked up a couple of games guaranteed a year. So everyone would pick up probably Call of Duty. In my case, it was the Battlefield games.
Right.
Left 4 Dead, picked that up. Gears of War, yes. These days, it's like, okay, well, these people don't like Battlefield 1, so they're going to pick up Battlefield 1. These people are going to pick up Call of Duty instead. These other people picked up PUBG. So everyone's fragmented in such a way. Thanks to Game Pass, I loaded up Strange Brigade, sent a message to T-Bomb from the community. Before I knew it, it was me, him, my wife, and Charlie playing. Right. And then 2 days later, it was me, Rob, T-Bomb, and my wife playing. And I was like...
The only barrier is just waiting for it to download.
Exactly. And if it's a game like that where people can just hop in and play, it kind of makes a big difference to just be like, okay, you want to play something? Let's see how Crackdown handles that. Let's see if all of a sudden it's just like everyone on my friends list is like, yo, do you want to play some Crackdown? Let's go.
Do you want to just blow the city up?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm hoping.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that would be the real dream.
But, like, to answer Musum's question on my side of things, like, really quick, my big thing is I don't do this deep dive in. It's something we talked about earlier with Elite Dangerous.
Yep.
These games as a service games, I will play at my leisure when I bloody feel like it.
Yep.
And that's the reason I bounced off Destiny, because it was like, no, I'm not going to game to your schedule, developer.
Right.
To keep right on the cutting edge with everybody else, because that's not how I game.
Yep.
I game based on what I'm feeling on any particular day. Again, Elite Dangerous Warframe are great because I can jump in. Sometimes on Warframe I have issues finding matches if I'm going to do like a quick match on like a mission. But that's fine. Whatever. People aren't as low down as me. I understand that completely. But stuff like Elite, I can jump in, do what I want, jump out. Like, there's no pressure to get to that next level. So I'm getting Anthem day one. If it turns out that Anthem expects me to maintain a certain level to stay cutting edge with everybody else, it may become one of those games where I pop it in, I play it once on a refresh day, and then I don't. Because I did that with Destiny 2 for a while. It was like jump in, refresh day, do a whole bunch of stuff, but then really quickly everyone started dropping off, and it was like, well, I can't do raids anymore. I can't do this anymore. I can't do that anymore.
And if there's a way for you or other people to catch up quickly, that would be really great. But I mean, that we'll see, I guess.
There's also a season pass and a yearly pass or whatever it's called behind now, so that's another, what, $120 or whatever I should have spent by this
Destiny?
point.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, I don't know. Yeah. Whereas Anthem, hopefully it's not bad.
Yeah. I mean, the worst case is we play through it and go, the end game isn't for me, but the ride was pretty fun.
I did that with The Division. It was only 2 years later I went back to The Division. It was like, oh wow, the end game of this has sure improved a lot.
Right. Yeah. And last but not least, T-Bomb Rocks in Discord says, I guess this is a question for We Rogue Like It, but we'll answer it here because I missed it. Is the Battle Royale genre a form of roguelike / light? You start fresh every match, and that has another question.
Yes, it is, but not at the same time, because in my opinion, probably not dictionary definition of the term here, but in my opinion, a roguelite / like is you against the system. It's not you against the people. Right. It's you against the machine and see how you'd fare.
It's you pushing against the difficulty. Yeah. He says, my daughters and myself are loving this suggestion Moonpear gave us for a great starter rogue. Do you remember what game you would recommend?
Another story, another...
oh, that one you talked about with the Scarecrow guy.
Yes.
Yeah. Another story, I think it was.
Yeah, I think it was, but I'm not sure. But yeah, that one.
Once we make it through the starter roguelikes, what game or games would be the next to progress through for my girls?
Oh boy.
If you like platformers, Rogue Legacy probably be pretty good. That's pretty straightforward, and there's nothing really crazy in it. It's difficult, but not overly so, I don't think. We're always going to say Isaac, but, you know, that's age
Yeah.
appropriate, that you're the only one that can say whether or not that's appropriate for your kids.
One of them plays it, so
Okay,
one of them
perfect.
likes to watch it, so
Yeah.
he knows about the Isaac already. I think we have placed our hand on the Necronomicon and preached the word of Isaac enough
Yes.
at this point.
Yeah. You know how we feel about that.
Yes. Oh boy. I mean, Crypt is really incredible, but how good are they at rhythm games?
Yeah, it's a tough game too.
Yeah, it becomes mental math more than anything else, so that's a bit
Yeah.
of a difficult one. Manos. I say Manos because it's a funny
Hand of
joke.
Fate. Yeah, Hand of
Fate
Fate is really good. I don't think there's anything really crazy in the story.
Actually, I think that one would work out really cool as well because it's a storybook. If you
Yeah.
want to sit there and read it out loud, and you can
Yeah.
have that storybook moment that changes every single time.
Yeah, Hand of Fate. I think that's not only a really great game, but the deck building stuff is really cool, and the Batman style fighting works pretty well. It's fun to smash some stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hand of Fate is always going to be a recommendation because it's really
It's a
good.
really good game.
Yeah, we haven't played Hand of Fate 2, to be clear. I'm going to assume that it's a good game, but we cannot say for sure. Yeah. But that's all our questions for this week. Again, thank you so much, everyone, for sending them in. If you'd like to visit us, you can do so at tvgp.tv. Everywhere to find and follow us is on the right-hand side of the page. Patreon.com/E1M1, the ones or numbers. Get all the behind-the-scenes stuff. Help us fund the show. It is very much not free for us to put the show on. And get all the exclusive stuff. There's coming as soon as I'm done with this is a brand new episode of Old Dog New Flicks. A couple days, brand new episode of Dynamic Soundtrack. You get the Outcast behind the scenes stuff that's not on the live stream. It's gonna be super long this week.
Yep, at least 40 minutes.
Yeah, at the very least. Game Club right now is last day of June. That's still going on. I think we have about 3 weeks. That's not a super long game. We roguelike it. If you're a patron, we're just finishing up one game. Announced our next game here as part of the stream, or as part of the episode.
I should write that down.
I think that's it. So we'll see you all next week.
Bye.
I managed to get 5 titles.
I think I got like 8.
Oh, nice. Hit me with them titles.
Juice the Numbers.
Okay.
What's Her Butt? The Rengen.
Yep.
Wibbly People. Because My Face Hurts. Existing, comma, in general. So, existing in general. Ride the Hype Train. Elsa the Professional. Last Bastion of Japanese Insanity. Probably a bit long, but
A little bit, yeah.
really good turn of phrase. Jazz Cigarettes and Whatnot.
I have What Kind of Clementine, Broken Clementine, The Rengen, Death Trap Mountain, The Troll Dog, and Because My Face Hurts. The Rengen is really good.
Yeah, Rengen is pretty good.
Because it'd be capital R and capital E engine.
Yes.
By the way, this dude has been running his leaf blower, swear to God, for like the last 2 hours. What is he doing? He has fake grass in his backyard. You didn't mow it. What are you doing?
Maybe he's blowing the moisture off to keep it dry.
You don't need to. It's turf.
Dude, I don't know.
don't
Maybe he
understand.
doesn't understand how turf works.
Yeah, maybe. No, it's like real grass, right? They just planted real grass. I
was
just don't
about
have to
make-
mow it.
I was about to make a political joke then, but I won't.
Well, yeah. I like the Rengen. Broken Clementine is good.
Yeah, I like Elsa the Professional because that just makes me think of Frozen dressed up like Leon.
Also, the Professional is good.
And also literally her shooting bullets of ice from an ice gun is dumb and hilarious and anime as hell.
Reminds me of Enter the Gungeon. There's a giant frost giant gun that's like bigger than you are that shoots these giant bullets out of it.
Oh wow.
Enter the Gungeon is really great and dumb, and I love it.
Oh, there's a perfect answer for Hannah's question. Hannah, sorry, Enter the Gungeon. Please see any name in that as a really good
Please see
wordplay.
every character or weapon or item or anything.
Yeah.
Can't believe we forgot about that.
What's the DLC called?
Advanced Gungeons and Dragons.
Yes, and Dragons spelled like Gun as well.
It's really great.
There you go.
I sort of... God, I don't know. Should we flip between the Renjin and Elsa the Professional?
Yeah, let's flip it.
Okay, so Renjin is heads, Elsa the Professional is tails. Flip, 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 flip. Tails. Elsa the Professional. The Hannah's probably cheering, saying, the right one won this time.
Yeah, kill God with kindness. I can't believe we missed that.
Yeah, I feel like it was too good, we just sort of ignored it.
Well, you know what, Hannah, then you need to get in the chat and you need to listen and put
come back on the show.
And then your show titles.
There you go. Alright, starting in 3, 2, 1. This is That Video Game Podcast, episode 588 for January 28th, 2019. Elsa, the Professional.
It's about to get cold in here.
Alright, thank you so much, everyone, for hanging out with us. We will see you all next week. Bye.